We are live.
Live with the best conference committee in the building, H.951 Everybody said the big bill. Friday,
It is.
second meeting of the day.
You're looking at me.
Yeah.
I'm looking at, who am I looking at? Scott, Amy, who?
They're all looking at each
Have
other.
the sheets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott is coming, yep. The rest of the gang is all here. So, the Capitol Bill Committee of Conference passed, so we thought we'd go over that,
Okay, and just, so you know, we, 567, the treasurer's bill, that had some language with the higher stuff, and we're gonna pass it today. We're
Okay,
okay with it,
okay.
and also 935,
Emergency management.
and such, we're gonna clear our.
We're clearing the decks.
We're clearing the deck,
772 was that?
the housing, landmark.
That's the landlord.
Okay, I wasn't sure where that was in this one, but it got.
It's been here.
Well, I see it there now, but I hadn't seen it before.
So we're working on getting those cleared,
Clearing the decks, so we
but
can
don't
spend
have,
more time.
but I'm hoping to have the public safety stuff. It's not emailed.
Okay,
I don't have.
okay.
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 Yeah, did we figure out that rapid response is not in there, right? It's
No.
not accounted for.
That is in 935.
It's in 935.
We're going to take the.
Take it out. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So we need to operate in that.
Yeah, so we're gonna
Yeah.
have.
Okay,
Well, in the, yeah.
right.
The way the bill currently says it's there, but then it says you have no duty to implement the program if there's no money.
Yeah, the $500,000
Right.
is brokered in there. So
So
we'll
what's
take
actually
out the 500,000, so the program will language is.
Right, but in the bill further on, it says you have no duty to do this particular program if you have no money, even though it's been
Right,
appropriated.
after the extra.
So you could just
Yeah.
leave it.
Probably,
Yes.
yeah. Although less confusing to just take it out.
That's true.
Yeah.
Then that means the whole bill has to come back to.
It's gonna come back and use that.
Oh.
I don't know, maybe there's other changes, maybe there aren't.
There are, so
Oh,
so if we don't have to take up $500,000.
yeah, well, I need to check with.
Yeah, we'll check.
Legal counsel.
Yeah,
We gotta do that prepared.
okay. Okay, 15. Well, then we could just concur in that.
Yeah. We're
Pass.
trying to.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would help, so we'll see if we can do this.
Okay.
Okay,
So, no, it's this.
that's kind of, we'll put it up on the big screen.
Things to hand out, or we can hand this out.
Yeah, it's easier for us on this side of the table. Let's choose. Like it's a bigger thing. One big thing.
Say chief. Sorry.
You want me to share? I can share.
I got you. That's fine.
Okay.
While we're waiting for anyone to go on the screen, I'll introduce myself, Scott Moore, Joint Fiscal Office, so we can start looking through this a little bit. Like we can see here, the first salmon colored line item you see is with DGS statewide rate of maintenance. The committee of conference increased the Senate's position in the cash by $500,000. Right down to letter C, the next salmon color, the statewide 3-acre compressor stormwater compliance. The conference committee reduced that by $1 million.
So effectively took it out.
The CAC position, yes, the other money also in the bonding position. So some people might think, oh, why do $1 million when they're doing, but there's money in bonding. It's just the cash position. Going down to letter O, the women's facility. There was also a decrease in $500,000 in cash, but there was additional $600,000 left in bond. So a lot of the capital bill does deal with two different sources of funding as well as previous money being allocated in years past. So sometimes when you see a negative or a positive, doesn't mean that there's no money for that particular project. It just means that there's money around in terms of bonding or in cash. Then we see you can actually see that listed from negative 500,000 to positive $500,000 in cash, and some of that is just on language that goes into what the what needs the money for. Going down to under number 7, Department of Corrections, there's negative $250,000 from ADS to install Wi-Fi. But then the next line underneath that is EOC to work with ADS to modernize the Wi-Fi facilities, if you will. That's colloquially known as the Wi-Fi project, but sometimes that is not necessarily installing a box in the wall in the design. And that's adding $700,000 cash. That's
Yeah, I was just, well, initially I was very surprised to see $3 million versus $250K. And I'm just wondering what was the change?
So the House Committee on Corrections Institutions has been desirous of ADS and USC to implement Wi-Fi in years. They've had a year or so where they've been asked to do this and hadn't been done. So the House felt that giving $3 million in capital bill to them would get attention and make sure they had the natural resources. Well, not that they had the resources to do it. Now, there had been some discussion as to other funding sources, the federal government, as well as the bond bank, and some of those resources may have fallen through. So the House felt that putting in $3 million would A, send the message, we want this project done, and B, if the other sources of funding are not going to happen, well, here's your funding. The administration sent a letter to the Senate suggesting that they didn't need this funding. They were in fact able to come up with funding. However, they agreed that having $250,000 would be good to be able to do planning and design for this project. And then the committee of conference said $750 would be able to allow them to do a little bit more work to make the best plan for this beginning.
So this is just for planning.
Basically, so it's not going to be any installation yet. It's not going to give them a chance to actually crack open the walls and put in wiring and that kind of stuff. This is really to have the resources in place to do a comprehensive plan across all the different correction centers.
That seems like a lot of money just to plan.
There's a lot to do because in order to even get into the correction center, sometimes they have to close one unit, move people, give that unit.
Okay.
So you would just,
Okay, so it's more than just what we.
it's more than
do
just on a
plan.
piece of
It's
paper.
associated activities that are, okay, those are
So again, use
costs.
the word design and planning is really
Okay.
the stuff they have to do.
Yeah.
That is why I went from 3 million to 250, back to 750.
So the dollar amount has not changed,
The total
Total,
dollar in cash,
just a few things inside.
inside of there's been some
Okay,
wiggle wobbles to like to call it.
and all of these projects end up in the budget, is that right? They're all short the budget, if we say yes.
Right, it's all thing.
Right.
So if you remember the construct, the cash fund takes up to 4% of the previous year's dollar amount, and that was the $17 million that got transferred to the cash fund. That number stayed the same. The interest earned has stayed the same. All the other dollar amounts have stayed the same. It's roughly $23 million in cash. You see that in the green. The fourth line now. So that number stayed the same, just inside of it. The committee did some changes. Yeah. Like, you had worked with the institutions committee when doing.
Right.
And everything, just
Right.
be first down. You're okay with that?
So like that would close out a few lines. One line, just one,
Yeah.
all that for one line.
I just throw this out there because I had a conversation with, Chair Emmons, who thought it might be a good idea, to include, section, 300.1, which relates to secure youth facilities, both in the budget and in the capital bill. It's down the capital bill, and that language we've, given to JFO, but that's a question for the conference. To consider.
Put in false places. Find this, in both of them.
Well, because it's a matter of policy and it relates to decision-making that both, Senator Lyons' committee will do and her committee will do as it relates to the future of the secure youth facility. And, it's not just a capital project that is the concern.
Yeah, I would agree with you on. Okay, so you're okay with the group with the language in that?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna be talking about trying to figure out all the language stuff so we can bring up some of stuff. Yeah, okay. We'll bring some language for that. That's what we got.
That's it. Information about the higher trust fund and UVM. No. Against that.
No, we're working on that.
I think they're not fine. Scholarship.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
So the, in the VSAC proposal, there was a request for some continuing funds for, allied health nursing scholarships in particular, which is not included in the budget. And, it turns out it's actually, it would be $1.4 million and then a match up to about 3.4. We do have funds available in the provider stabilization funds to cover that, amount, base amount, one-time amount, shouldn't use the word base, to continue those scholarships for 1 year. And the reason I think it's important is there have been folks who are actually having been committed to already applying for and receiving those scholarships. The money is not there. Consequently, the administration has put through the RHT proposal for scholarships for nursing as a replacement. But that won't cover all the people who have been previously covered. There will be a requirement within RHT to work within specific zip codes. It excludes specifically some very important sections of my district, and I think just well. So I'm thinking there are a couple of reasons here. One, the most important reason for me is that people have expectations and promises for funding that's now gone. And so I think if there's a way that we could put put the funds in and then have some conditions around use of the funds for, loan repayment, that it would really go a long way. And it's important for workforce.
We'll have language.
Yeah,
or something.
I don't have anything right now. I've just been working on this with Nolan and, we're asking Grady to put some language together. Nolan, do you want to say anything more?
No, other than that, the RTP also does not cover doctors or dentists.
Right.
So they cover nurses, right? They cover
Nurses,
nurses, but not.
radiology techs,
We
med
could
techs.
open that up, fund up for those folks in a way that we can't with RHT. And we wouldn't have before RHT.
So did we just find out that they had this problem?
It came, I think we should have known about it, but we have some students that reached out to us. And it's like, I was counting on this. I pick up the debt, it goes to the school. Now what am I gonna, I thought,
And the issue of the rural health transformation
you know, what is actually defined as rural has been up in the air.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. I was just trying to figure out the story of how this got here.
It
So,
just got here, and been mulling over and asking for data and information, so I got the information from Amy on what is existent, or what was existent for the scholarships, and what the proposal was from VSAC, and that's included. Some data.
so did it get cut in the budget?
So yes, it was part of the governor direct. They cut over $4 million for workforce. AHEC was part of that package.
Right,
You restored the 667 for AHEC,
right.
but there was still another 3+ million of VSAC scholarships that were not restored in either the House or Senate budget. And now we're starting to hear from folks who we thought they were young.
Well, yes, you have one program ending, and then the new program starting. So there's an end period in some people started under one set of parameters, and the new program has a new set of.
There will be an RHT program that's to be developed.
Yeah, but I think they have to deploy that money this year.
Yeah, they're trying to.
Yeah, by October, they have to have it arbitrarily, that them obligated by August, and then out by October.
Well, so Tuesday, we'll have to-
Okay, if it gets drafted
Yes,
ahead of time and we can see it today, then we can look at it. Okay. More closely, but you're proposing at this point to use the provider stabilization
yes,
money. So that's sort of a policy question too,
Yes.
about is that the direction we want to go?
What you said, you get the balance.
But it would, you for the rest of the provider stabilization. The flip side is the provider stabilization is pure general fund, where this you can get global commitment investment operation. But what's on that?
it's a 64.
4193.
Yeah, but it's-
This tiny 30.
0.93,
Yeah, yeah.
41.93.
Yeah,
See that max?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so there's nothing else we have for the.
I don't think so. I think we'll have a fair amount Tuesday. I assume we want to meet a couple of times on Tuesday. Are you meeting at 10 on the floor on Tuesday? Yeah, we are too. So,
Transportation bill is gonna be the day 30, that's getting pretty close.
okay. So can we meet before 10 sometime? Oh, I don't know how long you think you need the transportation.
We can meet at 9:15 here though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could do 9:15, and then 1:15 again.
And I hope this thing maybe gets done on Tuesday. We
It
can't,
kind of depends on the other bills.
yeah, we're supposed
It really
Right,
does.
yeah.
So, it might be, maybe we should just say the same for Wednesday, same times. I mean, it sounds like you're hoping to close the T-bill on Tuesday.
Yeah, right.
So that would be one. We've done the capital bill. 938 is done. So actually, those are other gray out things, because you guys will be working on fixing up the budget to be specific with 938.
Okay.
So we're still waiting on miscellaneous tax yield, education, and transportation, reverse order of almost.
My understanding is we'll present the education in the month for.
Tuesday, and then you can forward it to the House. And,
And then, do you have something?
I'm right here.
Go ahead, no?
I'm thinking about the language justice project, where we had talked about
Oh, yeah.
diversion from the Office of Racial Equity, and
we need to do it.
we need
I think
that.
we have language going on about that, don't we?
Yeah.
To be specific.
I just wanted to make.
We're gonna go over a whole bunch of language things that we hope to bring to you on Tuesday, and that's one of them.
Good, thank you.
Did you have something to say about that, Grady?
Oh, yeah, I was saying the language currently exists in the Senate budget. It'll just be adding the reversion to the reversion section to offset it.
Right.
And we're hoping to hear the UVM.
on Tuesday.
Great. Looking forward to